Hey guys, my name is Book of Wall Street, aka Dad of Wall Street, and with me I've got the Dad of Wall Street.
Hello,
He is the Dad of Wall Street.
I'm the pug. The wall of the pug street.
Okay, so Dad, have you any experience playing any Dark Souls games?
No, this is my first time watching you play.
Have you any?
I'm not allowed to play this game.
Have you any experience playing video games?
Well, yeah, back in the day when you were born, we got this PS2 for free, and
Yep.
I got this Max Payne video game. It was really cool with the bullet time and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I got it very cheap on eBay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also remember you had Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I didn't finish that game. I don't know why I didn't have time to play it, or it got to a point when it was like not very interesting for
Yeah.
me, maybe because I'm, that age.
Yeah. So I think Resident Evil is the closest you've had to playing a
Yeah.
Japanese game for Western audiences.
Probably so, yeah.
Okay.
Because Mario Bros. Doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think Mario Bros. Really counts.
Well, it's Japanese though.
Okay. So, uh, did you ever play with any other games? Because I know the Dark Souls has a history of being historically really hard and punishing. So, did you play any games that were, would you say, unfair or extremely hard?
No, I don't think so. I don't think my generation had those games. I mean, Pac-Man is not one of those things. I don't know. Maybe. What's the name of that game about
Yeah.
the Dungeons and Dragons? Or
Oh yeah,
something?
yeah, like Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair. You know, we had very bad games in my time.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
was even younger than you, my dad bought that home computer that was called the ZX Spectrum 16 kbytes, which was a blast at the time.
Yeah.
And we had to load our games using cassette tapes
Uh-huh.
connected to the computer. It would take ages to load, and they were very simple. Very simple. They just, the, if they were designed to keep you playing, so they were full of rewards and
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
wouldn't make it difficult for you otherwise. We would
Okay.
never play them.
So you wouldn't consider yourself a gamer?
Not at all. Not at all.
Do you have any experience with Let's Plays and stuff? I know you watched like 5 minutes of mine,
Yeah.
and I saw you very like flinching and stuff. So
Yeah, because I see you play so fast.
yeah, yeah.
Right? And I would be, if I were you, I would be like spending probably hours
Well, because
admiring all
yeah.
the background.
Yeah, because I've played this part before, just the beginnings, and so I know what I'm doing, but
Sure, but it's amazing the quality. And
Yeah.
how complex games are nowadays. I'm sorry to giving you the dad speech here.
no, it's okay. Don't worry.
But yeah, it's like wow, I can be admiring this for
Yeah.
minutes, I guess.
It's one of those games where you stop and you look and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
But then you look at certain things from close up and you'll be like, oh, that's video gamey.
But even then, compared to a ZX Spectrum, this is
Yeah.
a new world.
I believe you. I believe
So,
you.
what is the purpose of this game?
So the story is very complex. That's why I was asking whether you had played Resident Evil, because the
Yeah.
story there gets weird.
Yeah.
And there's tons of games in there. So this one, the world is ending, as it tends to do. It's falling apart.
Okay.
And the reason it's falling apart is because there's a cycle. And in that cycle, the world goes from sun to dark to gray.
Okay.
So we just came from the gray area where the dragons lived
Yeah.
into the sun, which is where we are right now, and there's light and
Mhm.
stuff. Now, from the sun came the gods. So they were considered gods because they were extremely powerful. They draw their power from the fire, the flame, the first flame,
Yeah.
right? And that's what made them powerful. They had the power, and it gave them souls. And before there was just hollowed, empty zombies in search of something to fill them with life
Yeah.
and identity. And the first 3 or 4 were extremely powerful, and then there was one called the Pygmy Lord, who found the Dark Soul, the title of the game, And the Dark Soul is you draw power from the darkness. So he was kind of weak in the sun, but when the world ended and it turned into darkness, humanity would become
You just
gods.
lost me once upon a time, so...
So the idea is that the world is ending, the world as we know it is ending, and people don't want it to end, so they're reviving all the guys who failed to link the flame, which is the idea of how you fix the world again.
Yeah, it seems to me like a very large and complex map. It would make more sense to make it like... collaborate with other players to achieve this goal. Is it
So
possible to
yes,
do
you
that?
do. You can ember and you can summon. If you've got friends, which I don't
Okay.
have, you
Aw.
can actually get them to play with you as
Well, you're so sweet.
as host
You
of
have any
embers.
friends?
So the embers, so this you're unkindled, which you try to link the flame, which is how you reset
That
the
sounds
world.
like Amazon.
Okay, Dad. You try to link the world, and since you failed, you died and you were burned.
So, do you think you can do this on your own and you can beat the game?
Oh yeah, I've gotten most of it with the starting equipment, because some people say it's really hard, but from what I've experienced, I cheese the game, meaning that I do tons of game exploits
Yeah.
to win.
So
But
you're cheating, basically.
not really, because you'll see me.
Tell
I
the
don't know.
truth.
Okay, I've got my knife, and my knife is not very strong, but it's really fast. So I'll
Wow.
stun lock. So I'll put people in a cycle of just hitting them over and over, and I'll hit them before they can hit me. So that's how I defeated a lot of the bosses and stuff.
Okay, so in the end, you have what do you have to do? You have to defeat the big dragon. Is that it?
Well,
Or-
there's the one you've got to link the flame. You've got to choose.
okay,
Do you
link the flame.
link the flame? So you'll see
Okay.
on the screen this area.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but the sun is that one thing.
Okay.
And the sun will disappear if you don't link it, because the fire is fading. So you need to consume souls and become really powerful to add fuel to the fire.
Oh. And
So you're just adding fuel to the age of fire. That's all you're
Okay.
doing. But the problem is, the more fuel to the
Whoa.
age of fire you add, the quicker it runs out, and the more messed up it turns out in the end.
Oh, okay.
So at first you'd have like maybe 1,000 years in between linkings, and you'd be good. But now you're running the area where, okay, maybe not 1,000 years, maybe 100, and now
Mhm.
it's like, well, we're running out of time. We just need to get as many people that are as powerful fast now, which is the purpose of this game. They resurrected all the lords,
Yeah.
so now the lords don't want to do it. The lords are like, I already did it. I already died, so I don't want to do it anymore.
Whoa.
Oh. And since the lords are not there,
Who's throwing those?
it's
bombs?
one guy that I forgot to take out.
That was close.
Yeah. So the purpose of this game is to roll.
Yeah.
So you're playing the character we're playing right now, Pugsworth the First. In reality, is an unkindled flame.
Is this story based on any myth or tradition from I don't know, Vikings or things like that?
There
or-
are tons of references to mythologies and Japanese and medieval and stuff like that.
I don't know anything about medieval Japan.
Well, I mean, you can safely assume that some creatures and ideas like the abyss or the darkness or
Okay.
serpents being dragons who are deformed,
Okay.
right? That idea is very Japanesey.
That iconography.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this guy is the guy who's throwing the bombs, and I need to go up there and get him from behind. But since I'm far away, he can't hit me. We'll just open this chest. Astora straight sword is really good, but I like my knife, my tiny knife. Yeah, and
Oh,
he
there
fell.
is.
Okay. So you see those barrels? Those barrels are explosive barrels, and I
Oh.
didn't realize that until he threw the bomb.
You look distracted
I-
today, son.
Yeah, I was. I don't know. I like the story. The story is. 'cause
You're sweating.
I'm not sweating.
You're nervous.
I'm not nervous.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You like me.
Okay, so the main idea is that
Yeah.
you've had 3 Dark Souls so far. The first
Okay.
one is kind of like,
Wait, do you have to start over again?
oh yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, this is the purpose. If you die, and you see I have 0 souls in the bottom right corner,
What? You just lost everything?
I lost everything. But at this point, I can actually go and get them back.
What makes you play again?
Because it's the one thing that I love about this set of video games, like fighting games and stuff, where you lose, you know it's your own fault. So and you learn.
Yeah,
so
but-
you'll go to a boss and you'll die, and you're like, oh no, and then you'll die and die over and over until you learn. Oh, I know the patterns now. So now that we've been through here, right? We know that there's gonna be a guy coming from here. We know that a guy's gonna be there, right?
Yeah.
And we know that one of them is gonna transform into a really large creature. So we want to.
And it's still you find it rewarding to play. I mean, you know where everything's gonna be. It's like in my time, those guys playing Pac-Man, they had
Yeah,
memorized all the patterns.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see the point of it. Because
Well,
just once you
yeah.
know what's the
It's
fun
not
of it.
really memorizing the patterns. It's more of a. Oh no! Don't go away. This is the thing that gives you the upgrades.
Oh.
So raw gems and stuff. So they're lizards, and then you'll see giant crystal lizards,
Yeah.
and they're the upgraded version.
Oh.
They were consuming souls like we do to a level up. They just did it to level themselves up too.
Whoa! So you have just one chance, and then you lose it all.
It's kind
Whoa.
of the idea is that you are born you are undead. You have a curse because Gwyn, the last lord of the fire.
Yeah.
So the first guy to link it, who's really powerful, who gave his soul back to the fire where he took it from, to make the world last longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Is this idea of losing everything like a new trend in video games?
Well, at first it's referencing an old thing from the old Nintendo systems and stuff, where back then, you know, games weren't large and games didn't last long, so they
Yeah.
made it extremely difficult. So you would have to play it over and over and over, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, but in this one, and so once you died, the only way to get your stuff was to play from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except that in this one, I'm focusing right now. Okay, whew, we're good. Okay, but in this one, there's no like, oh, you died, so there's no saves. But in this one, you respawn at a bonfire.
Yeah.
It's the whole relation about fire being.
I don't know
good
if
thing.
I would be able to play this game knowing that if I make a mistake,
yeah.
I have to start all over again.
Well, it's not really starting all over again. It's
I mean,
kind of
'cause
like.
it's not even a challenge. It's like, okay, I just give up before I play.
Well,
'Cause-
if you look here, you'll see there's
I mean,
a green pool of.
yeah, I understand there is a learning curve.
Well,
right?
yeah, but
there is also a tipping
yeah.
point.
There's not really you lose everything. You see that green area right
Yeah.
there? Those are the souls that I lost.
Oh,
Right,
So,
so-
it's like a recharging station.
Yeah, so if I die, I lose them. If I die now without getting
Yeah.
them, I lose those.
Do you remember Red Faction?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome game.
Really good.
Awesome game.
So you see this.
Oh, and what was the what?
Half-Life?
Half-Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one.
Really good ones.
Oh, my
Classics.
gosh, yeah.
Okay, so here we have items, right?
Yeah.
And the items you get to keep the whole time. If you die,
Mm-hmm.
but you got an item, you keep it. It's not like you lost it forever.
Yeah.
So that's why some people will rush an area, get an item, and let themselves die.
Yeah.
Because they got the thing they were looking for.
Yeah, I see.
So the main area, the idea is that you explore this game by killing enemies and getting shortcuts.
Whoa.
So first off, you'll be doing a long thing, and then you'll realize, oh look, there's a door that I can open, and that
Oh.
door leads to an elevator, right? So those barrels explode. The dogs are weak, but they're really annoying. So I'm gonna wait for somebody. This guy. I wanna throw. Whoops! He walked right under me. So there's this lock-on thing, so you don't have to bother aiming.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll wait for someone to go near the barrels, and I throw a bomb at the barrels, and then it'll do tons of damage.
How can you tell one barrel from the other? I mean, from
So-
the
so-
explosive ones.
So I think that most, if not all, barrels are explosive, especially
yeah.
when they're tied up with
With
ropes.
I
Yeah.
see. Because there are some barrels here.
Yeah.
Oh, they are also explosive.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
So, and then you'll have, and Dark Souls has a tendency of showing an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have one guy throw a bomb at you, and there'll be like one or two barrels in there, and you'll be like, oh, that's interesting. And
But those are not explosive because they don't have ropes. Is that how you can tell?
I don't know. I
ones
really
from-
don't know. But it's kind of like a rule of thumb that if you see barrels stacked up, they blow up
Oh,
big,
okay.
right? And Dark Souls, as I was saying, has a tendency of showing you one enemy,
Yeah.
and you'll defeat them, and you'll be like, oh, that was easy. But then in the next level, they'll give you like 15 of that enemy,
Whoa.
right? So they give you a fair chance at learning it.
Oh, is it coming?
Yeah,
for
he's
you?
gonna try and get out, but most of the times they'll lose aggro, which means that they won't. They'll since they're zombies, they'll just like not see you for enough time, and they'll be like, oh,
What-
maybe he died.
What's the word you used?
Aggro. So it's like
Aggro.
aggressive.
Oh,
So you see, he's going back to zombie mode again,
yeah.
which means that he just doesn't care about it anymore. So in this world, the story is that instead of like a video game trope of like, oh, you just won't die and you'll respawn. Everybody has that.
Ooh.
All the good guys
Ooh.
and the bad guys have that ability to. This is the one item I wanted to get, so if I die, it's okay.
But you have to start over again.
No, I got the item. I got the item I was looking for. I got the cell key. So in this world, if you die,
You have more bombs.
yeah, but there's no these guys are really weak on their own because they're really slow. But if you've got a dog hitting you and preventing you from moving,
But why did you die? I mean,
because I wanted to grab the key. So now that I have the key, I can not have to go to this area.
oh.
So I could go
So
and-
you start again, but you
Yeah.
have some memory.
Yeah,
of
because
things you've
the
done,
idea is
right?
the more times you die, the more hollow you become, right? The
Oh
more
my
hollow
gosh.
you become, in the first games, the more you died, the less health you had.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
become harder and
Yeah.
harder,
Yeah.
which goes with the story. But in this one, you're not really undead. You're an unkindled, meaning that
You're not linked.
yeah, you're not part of the curse anymore since you already permanently died. And I want to avoid Lothric Knights, which is that guy. So everybody in here, when you reset at a bonfire,
Yeah.
everybody comes back to life because they're all cursed. Everybody in
Oh.
this world is technically cursed, and those who aren't will die forever.
But the objects you retrieve, they're already
Yeah, exactly.
retrieved. Okay.
Since you died, you disappear, and
So you just can
reborn.
go and forget
Yeah.
about these guys and
Yeah.
you just go straight to whatever you
So
want.
so now that I have the cell key, there's an area down here which will lead to oop, will lead to an NPC, a non-player character.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the guy that we need who's going to be very important later on because he's going to get us items.
Just one question: if you just go to wherever your,
Yeah.
target is right now, these guys they just forget you.
Well,
they lose their aggro.
Yeah, depending on the character, the character, they'll lose their aggro. But like this guy throws bombs, and this area is covered with explosive barrels. So this is the first time you'll meet an explosive thing, and you'll most likely get blown up by the barrels and be like, "Oh, barrels explode." Okay, so you can do that, but most of the times you've got no idea where you're going or why you're doing it.
So you've never been here before?
I have, but I'm not leveled up enough to be like, oh, ignore this guy, run really fast.
What do you mean by that? Not level up.
So the
do you have?
souls is the way you level up. So when you die, you lose your souls, or you can go get
Oh
them
yeah, you
back.
told me that
Right.
before.
So this is Grey Rat.
Great rat, what a name.
You're no jailer, are you? No, you're from far away. And judging by the bell, you must be some of that unkindled ash.
There's a bell that's making us all
Remarkable.
revive.
Uh-huh.
If that's true, then I have a favor to ask. Below the high wall is a musty little town. Not the home of any lord, just a very old settlement of undead. An old woman, Loretta, lives there. Please, give her this ring. I'm not asking for charity. In fact, if you do this for me, I'll be sure to repay you in kind. I may be a petty thief, but I've more wits than most royalty. What do you say then? Huh?
Okay, what do you say?
I don't know, can he lie?
No, this guy is genuinely honest. He's really worried about this old lady.
I don't know.
Because I love his story. It's very sad. I cried. The first time I heard it, I really
Oh,
cried.
You're so sweet.
So the mask he's wearing is a prisoner's mask because he's a thief. He was captured and he was in jail.
Yeah.
Because he's like a Robin Hood.
But you know what they say, no honor among thieves.
Well, except this guy is all about honor. He's a
Okay.
Robin Hood. There's another character who has no honor. He will like betray you, and he's been in every single game betraying you. But everybody just loves him because he's the one guy he'll just betray you.
He's
You know.
brutally honest.
Yeah,
right?
this guy is extremely honest and caring. The other
Okay.
guy hates greed, and he'll be like, "Oh, you want some treasure? It's over there," and then he'll like stab you in the back and be like, how dare you in this time just care about treasure
I'll
alone?"
punish you for your greed.
Exactly. This guy's genuine. The other guy's a serial killer, pretty much.
What's the difference?
One has empathy. I don't know.
And the other is a sociopath, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go and do it.
I'll do mine.
So now he's disappeared and he went to the Firelink, which is the main hub, the Nexus, where you go level up and talk to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now this area is not really important anymore since we opened the area.
Yeah, I've been reading this past week. I've been reading this book by short stories by Doctoroff,
Yeah.
science fiction author, and there is a lot of leveling up and talking to people
Ah,
in their consciousness thingy.
yeah,
Right, so it's a good thing.
yeah. So
What was the name of that boring movie with Johnny Depp?
Transcendence?
Transcendent, yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Boring. It was too long. It's a cool idea, but it was just too long.
The first half of the movie is nice, then the second half is like, okay,
Yeah.
they just spent all their budget and
Yeah, true. They ran out of special effects.
yeah,
Honestly,
very poor.
honestly, they did run out. It feels like they ran out
It
of
feels like
ideas.
that, like I'm wasting my time.
Okay, black fire bombs are really powerful, and you'll see this guy.
Mm-hmm.
They call him a Beyblade. So it's a thing. The Beyblades are the little toys that spin.
Mm.
So they're like, the Beyblade, let it rip. And then one of his special attacks is he's got a huge axe, and he'll just
It
spin.
doesn't look very bright. You see the way he walks?
Yeah, because he's hollowed. Everybody, the more you die, the less smart you become. So these guys used to be powerful soldiers and
Oh,
stuff.
does the same thing happen to you, to your character? The more you
not-
die, the less
not this
smart
guy.
you are?
Not this guy, but at first, the only way to do it would be punishing you. Less health, less dexterity.
Not fair.
Yeah. So, but in this one, since you're unkindled ash, you're not bound by the same rules.
Yeah,
So you can
because you're special.
exactly, and you can avoid most of the things. So now that I've got all the items, I don't have to go there. There's this knight, and let's see.
That's the one who beat you up before.
Yeah, but it's all about learning their patterns. Once you know, and most of these guys go in 4/4 tempo. They'll charge to
I just
1,
noticed that you
2.
always attack from the back.
Yeah, it's critical damage, massive.
Isn't that like a cowardly thing to do?
Okay? Maybe, but I don't care. It could be. I don't know. But some of these guys are. It's one way to defeat, because these guys are unfair. They all fight against you. They're all against you.
Well, it's a game.
I
remember.
know, but it's an
It's
exploit.
nothing personal.
But when you do play against other players,
Yeah.
there is some honor rules of like, okay, you cannot heal. So you'll see guys chugging their health thing
Yeah.
until the animation plays that they have none left.
Yeah.
And then they'll all meet in one area and have one-on-one combat. It's really cool because the
Looks
game
like the Fight Club.
it is, yeah. It's a form of Fight Club.
Testosterone.
Yeah. So you see my health is right.
Oh.
I wanted to grab my shield, but I pressed Y without realizing I had already grabbed my
Oh my
shield.
gosh.
So we're gonna run through here.
Yeah, let's run away.
We're gonna let them come in one by one. I think, yeah. This guy's kind of like, what are you doing? I'm not supposed to be out here. Richard told me not to come out.
My code does not allow me.
Yeah. So
So I'm showing you my axe, my big axe.
he's kind of like, don't come here. I will hit you if you come near.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah. I'm the guardian of this library. As you see, he goes back to being zombie.
Yeah.
That's because
Oh,
Okay.
stop drinking and fight.
It's my health.
You're
See-
not injured. Oh, come on.
Okay,
Oh,
one
yeah.
more. Oh, yeah, this is
I'm
why I love
so
the knife.
proud of you,
I know.
my son.
Okay, so
What about the dog?
sure, we can. There's 2 dogs.
2 dogs. Whoa, and another guy there.
Yeah.
Ah, charging.
See, they're powerful, but they're not hard on their own.
Yeah.
As long as you can hit them, they're really weak. So these guys are kind of that guy's gonna throw a bomb, so I'm gonna preemptively blow these ones out and drink my health. Okay, now we're gonna grab this thing. This thing levels up our health
Ooh.
pool, our health giving item. I don't know. Okay. We don't have to care about these guys anymore. Just dodge the barrels and
Careful
we'll
with
be
the
good.
bomb guy.
Yeah. So, boop. You can safely assume that these barrels are full of like some form of alcohol, and that's why they're flammable. Except, so these ones would be, you know, or gunpowder or something like that. So we can fight this guy.
Can you throw bombs at him?
Yes, the way that I defeated him in my first playthrough was from far away throwing arrows at him.
Oh.
Not very honorable, but I just kept my distance.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I know. So you'll sometimes see him spin around. So we'll throw a couple more bombs and then we'll go down and fight him.
Whoa. I'm all favoring, you know.
Yeah, Beyblade, let
keep
it
going
rip.
with the bombs.
Okay, but we're gonna need the bombs later because we're gonna need to activate some bonfires and stuff and open some shortcuts. So there's gonna be a shortcut up ahead. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna sprint through, ignore this guy, as much as I can. Oh, my leg is shaky now. Okay, drink, run,
Who are
run.
those guys there?
They're statues. They're all dead. Well, there's statues and there's
Like-
guys who are dead, and the guys who are dead,
Yeah.
they were killed by the knight, the winged knight they call him, because he's got wings. The guy who's fat
Oh,
and
okay.
rolls and spins. Bye bye. I'm on an elevator. So there's this whole story of like the light and the dark. People who want to link the fire and people who want the darkness to consume everything.
Yeah.
And you get to choose which one
It's the
happens.
same old story.
Yeah. In any other
Whoa.
in any other games, the story, the ending doesn't matter because there's always going to be somebody to either do the other one.
Yeah.
So if you didn't link the fire in the other stories, then some other dude would do it, you know, and they kill you, become
Yeah.
powerful, and link the fire.
Yeah.
So this story is like, well, there's nothing left. Like the only thing left is letting the fire die, because the world has gone so messed up, and you'll see it near the end of the game.
Yeah.
Everything is falling into each other. All the cities are falling apart because the world is just so messed up. So all these guys are
Whoa.
really weak, but annoying. They have broken swords. This is the only strong guy, and once you take care of him, all these guys are really weak. And done.
So what do these guys have on their heads? What is that?
So it's just they're missing their helmets.
Oh.
So they're just empty suits of
Oh,
armor.
I see. I see.
It's kind of like they died and
Yeah, right.
they became most of these guys. Most of the empty
okay.
guys with no armor are
Okay.
probably these guys. So these are Lothric knights.
I thought it was, you know, some kind of skin or
No.
flesh or
So
something.
the red is the Lothric armor
Oh, okay,
color.
okay. Good.
So, and the blue guy is from a religion or something that believes in letting the darkness or something like that consume everything.
Okay. Ooh. That was bad.
Okay, so what we want to do is, since now we opened that elevator, now instead of having to go all the long way around through here,
Yeah.
we can just take a shortcut and then get to this place.
Okay.
So there's a couple things we gotta do before, items to get. And once we get those items, we can end the Let's Play. So this area is really important. This game is all about shortcuts. You open an area and then you get shortcuts. So this area,
Mm-hmm.
you see that there's really weak characters there. And then if you look over here, there's really strong characters. There's knights
Yeah.
in armor. There's
Yeah.
2 here, one really powerful one over there and one over there.
Okay.
So normally you have to go into that chapel
Yeah.
to get an item. And then once you get it, you don't have to go there anymore. So you go through here into this area and you drop down to a ledge and then drop down again and you just go to a boss.
Okay.
So we're gonna go in here. Since we did not oh, I have no more health potion. So we're gonna sneak up on him, see if we can do it. Oh, no we can't, but it's okay. Oh, we're still alive. Never mind, we're not alive. Okay, so I'll just teleport to another
What about gravity? I mean, that guy is impossible.
You know, this you gotta make some
It makes no sense.
okay, you know what? So this is the bonfire. When you rest at here, time passes and the world gets reset. So you can travel to other bonfires. So I'll travel to this one, which is in an earlier area, except that since we opened the shortcut, we can get to that one area where I died without having to go through all of the enemies.
Okay.
So, and there's bosses where you have to go through long sets of enemies to get them. So you'll already start the fight with less health, which kind of seems unfair until you realize that this game just doesn't go by the same rules. Okay, so it's not this area. I think it's this area over here where we got. So this area goes nowhere originally. In the Let's Play, we defeated.
That's when you were
Yeah. So
defeated I watched.
Yeah. So now that we're here, we gotta pull the lever, and since when you're activating things, you receive no damage because it would be too unfair. It would be unfair if you were stuck in an animation you cannot control.
Yeah.
Right. So now we've got this, and we go down, and we only had to fight one dude, and we're already at the area where I died.
Oh. Makes things even simpler.
Exactly. So this is where we came from, and these are messages left by other players. Mob enemy ahead, meaning that these guys, right? Yeah, we can ignore them. So, right, this is where.
So you're gonna fight the spinning guy?
So I'm gonna grab these items first. They're souls, and they'll allow me to level up quicker.
Level up?
Right, and a ring of sacrifice, meaning that if I die, I'll put it on. I don't lose my souls through sacri, and then the blue tearstone ring.
So many objects. It's
Yeah, the world is just full of stuff.
oh, too close. Very good.
Yeah, boom, critical damage
Oh yeah.
in
I
the
can tell
butt.
that. Yeah, stay close to him. Stay close.
Yeah, there we go, easy peasy.
That was amazing.
I mean, most people struggle because they have really slow weapons, but then I'll just go like this and I'll get it all done really
Oh
quickly.
my gosh.
So that dude just probably killed every single one of these guys.
You're my hero.
I am, yay. So there's some more items to get here. This dude is gonna wake up, and we're gonna grab this rapier. I think something falls. I don't know, every time I'm here, something always falls on me. One of those barrels falls for no reason.
Sure, no reason.
Maybe there's an enemy who gets aggressive and throws it at me. I don't know. Okay, I think we're all good. So we'll go to the bonfire, and I think I'll use a homeward bone, which is an item that allows you to teleport. We'll go to the shrine bonfire, and we'll call it a day. So the homeward bone allows you to teleport to bonfires, either the last one or the nexus.
Is that the theme they use in Harry Potter to travel from one place to another?
Flu powder?
The teleporters.
Chimneys? Oh, the one boot or something that teleports you?
Touch them. And
Yeah.
You go from one. Yeah.
I don't know.
Also the diagonally.
So we're gonna use all of our souls. All the.
Who's that guy there?
Oh, he's the guy who repairs our weapons.
Cool.
He's really tall. He looks short, but just because he's sitting down.
Oh.
He's so tall he cannot reach the anvil.
Again, gravity.
True.
Oh,
So
who's that person?
So this is the firekeeper. She tends the flame so that we can teleport from places and stuff.
Welcome home, Ashen One.
She's blind because that's what firekeepers are. They're not allowed to see the darkness,
Oh.
which is interesting since if you don't have eyes, all you see is darkness. I don't know, but
Well, Yeah.
They allow you to level up by
The darkness within me.
all humans have the dark soul, which allows you to get power and stuff from souls.
Was she born blind?
No, I think she became
So she knows there is light.
yeah. But once you become a firekeeper, it is a very interesting story. They're kind of like throwaway things. So
I mean,
we're
where do you get all these stories? Where do you learn all these? Because there is not a manual.
and there is nowhere that tells you anything that's going on. So we're gonna level up these, become stronger. No, actually, I don't need attunement. That's your magic. I need endurance, which is your stamina. Okay, so we'll level up, and I'll explain how it happens, right? So she tells you to be enkindled is to be the vessel for souls.
Yeah, I can read.
So the more enemies you defeat, the more souls you consume, the more power you can take.
Okay.
And in here you'll see your items, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say this cell key. We click item info and it tells you a story.
Oh, okay.
So there's no shortage of brash thieves in Lothric, and
Yeah.
these particular thieves likely scaled the wall from the undead settlement, which is where we're gonna go next. But they were only willing to practice their thievery on the high wall, for the fear of Lothric Castle, rumored to devour men, keeps them clear of its grounds. So it's kind of like there's this whole thing that the game doesn't tell you any story. You can play through the entire game a couple
Oh.
times and not know what's going on.
Who's
that's
that?
that's a ghost of another player. So it's kind of like,
What is he or she doing there?
so when you're in a bonfire, you'll see them really clearly. It's kind of like getting a little glimpse at somebody else.
Oh.
So you'll realize that there's like an alternate
So
parallel dimension.
it's not you in a past game. It's someone else.
It's someone else, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you can summon them for help and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because
And
I
they'll-
remember in that game, Colin McRae.
Yeah.
You could see your past
Mhm.
race, or even compete
Yeah.
against yourself.
True. But that's so this guy, as we're unkindled, but we are specifically the hunters of lords, something
Yeah.
like that. So this
Lord
guy,
Hunters.
so this guy,
Another one roused from the sleep of
this cynic man, right?
the Joker.
So he's like, we can't even die, right? Blah blah blah. Lords of Cinder. He gets really sad. So these thrones are for the Lords of Thin Cinder, the guys who were actually able to link the fire.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to get them back. Since they don't want to do it, they're like, the next best thing is people who almost
Why
did it.
don't they want to do it? I mean, it's
Because if this guy right here, Ludolith, the short dude, was charred and is charred right now since he was resurrected. And he's like, I'm burned. Look at me. I was burned and it's painful and I don't want to do it because the world is still going to end.
so you're fighting for guys who don't want to do their
Well,
own things.
We're fighting to get them to do the thing they don't want to do. So
How is that even possible?
because you take their soul, and since it's a very powerful soul, you can burn
Now,
it.
transfer that to real life.
It's kind of like you're a tax collector, and they paid their first taxes, but now and they died to avoid their taxes, and now that they're alive, they've got to pay them back, and they don't want to do it, so you got to kill them to, I don't know. It's something like that. So this
Okay.
dude is the only guy who came back willingly. He's the only guy who believes in linking the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, it's kind of like, I don't think we should do that. Look at how the world is ending.
That sounds a lot like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So the Lords of Cinder were all lords, and the first one wanted to keep the Age of Fire because that made him a god.
But that's an interesting human emotion, right?
Yeah,
An agency.
exactly.
They don't want to do it, but they're gonna
Yeah,
They're gonna be forced to do it because of you players.
exactly. So the first, and there's also the option of not letting them. There's a couple endings. Like one of them, you take the fire as your own power, and you become a lord yourself without dying, and you let the fire reside in you, making you really powerful. Another one is where you let the fire fade and realize that as a human, you're gonna become a god in the darkness.
But doesn't the idea of forcing someone else to do something that person does not want to do create like a conflict in your conscience?
Well, the idea is that
even though it's a game,
all of this guy realizes that we are just brought up from the dead to do the job of the gods which they can't do because they don't want to die. They don't want to sacrifice themselves. They want everybody else to do it so that they become powerful. And this guy's like, why bother doing that when letting ourselves die is the only escape from the
well,
curse.
That's an interesting option. I mean, can you play
Mhm.
against the script?
Yeah, you can let the fire fade. You can, because all of these lords are actually dangerous and they will kill you no matter what you
And
do.
isn't that more appealing to you than
It
playing
is.
the game?
So this is what the ending that I'm gonna pursue. Let the fire fade. I'm gonna defeat the lords, so I become powerful enough to let the fire fade. Because other times it'll consume you and stuff.
Oh.
So it's really interesting. So this guy is supposed to get the Undead Legion. So which is a legion of undeads. We're all undead in here.
Yeah.
So we die, we come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
The Undead Legion was a follower of Artorias,
Yeah.
who's a guy who fought the Abyss. And the Undead Legion fights the Abyss. And in the game, they'll fight each other because they're being consumed by the Abyss. So they're just endlessly fighting the Abyss. In reality, they're the Abyss. So
Oh my gosh.
so this guy's kind of like, oh, why bother getting them when I'm the, when death or darkness is the only escape from this curse? Because the guy who, the first lord,
What's his name?
I think he's like something the deserter. He's like, I forget, Hawkwood the deserter. Because he deserted the Legion.
Interesting guy.
Yeah. So the first lord is the guy who made all of humanity cursed because he saw the darkness and realized that humanity would become what he is in the darkness. And he's like, oh, but I don't want that. I want to be myself forever. So that's the first game is you killing that guy and then taking his place to let the
Whoa.
fire continue.
Okay.
So it's kind of like creating a really powerful player to continue the fire. Or you can choose not to. But in this one, originally, the fire explodes and it's very bright. But in this game, if you link the fire, it barely even burns your arm.
Yeah.
Because the fire is fading no matter what you do. Alright, so
Cool.
we'll probably level up our weapon, reinforce it. This is an old lady. She allows me to buy stuff and sell stuff.
Ooh.
So this dried finger is what allows you to play with other players, and the soapstone is what allows you for people to summon you to help them out.
Or take a bath.
True, or take a bath. And there's a red one where people can summon you to fight you, or you can invade other people and fight them as kind of like an added enemy.
Yeah.
So this guy, well met.
Tis good to see ye.
Look at his arm.
Yeah,
He's bent.
it's because he's trying to talk
Yeah.
to you at the same time he's doing an
Oh,
animation.
he's huge.
So reinforce.
What's the name of this actor? Is he Tongan or
Which one? The Rock?
no? The guy who from Game of Thrones?
Oh,
Momoa or something like that.
oh yeah, the guy who was in
He's some, like-
Atlantis.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what he is. But
Aquaman.
Khal Drago is his character in.
He looks like a older version of that person.
Yeah.
That guy.
I understand.
Be careful.
So I just leveled up my weapons. This guy will repair and level up your stuff, and if you give him coals from specific areas, he can infuse your stuff, your
So
weapons.
It's like another mission inside a mission.
Exactly.
inside a
Everything
mission.
is kind of like you get to do whatever you want, and you see Grey Rats right here. The guy we just freed.
Oh yeah.
And in one piece. Well, now it's time I do my part. Whatever trinket you need, speak up. Just
So this guy will now allow us to purchase items from him. They're different items like arrows and armor.
So many things, so many objects.
Yeah, and each one gives a different. There's going to be a pyromancer who allows you to shoot fire. There's going to be a sorcerer, a witch, a lady that does miracles, and each one requires you to do missions to get you better stuff.
I'm so amazed at the backgrounds and,
Yeah.
and everything is wow.
The
Huge.
the same team that made Bloodborne, which is kind of like H.P. Lovecraft meets
Mhm.
this game
Yeah.
in like Victorian England. So it's really cool, but it's a PS4 exclusive, and I don't have a PS4, so
Oh.
So I guess we're gonna end it
Just-
at that. Yeah.
Ask your father to buy one.
Do you have like $400?
I might.
Okay, so we're gonna end it here. And next episode, we're gonna defeat the knights, the Lothric knights, get the Lothric banner, talk to Emma, and then fight Vort
Good
of
luck
the
with
Boreal Valley. And I hope I can get you there as well, because you're gonna see the first real boss in this game. And you'll
Whoa.
understand, because this game is all about bosses. All the tiny guys we just fought, they're nothing compared to them.
That sounds like the mafia.
It sounds like the mafia. Okay, and as always, guys, have a great day.